Welcome back to the channel, guys. Part 2 of this HZ, not HJ. Thanks for the comments there. This car now is back to the stage that I actually first purchased it. It's on the ground and it's rolling. When I got it, it was exactly like this. Not quite rolling, but it was on the ground. In this video, you'll probably mock a few things that I've done and say I've gone too far, but that's what I wanted to do. And at the end of it, I'll reveal how much it's cost me to get this on the ground back to where I'd purchased the car as it rolled into the shed a couple of weeks ago. As well as the price, I will be revealing how long it's actually taken me to do it. So keep watching till the end. Thanks, guys. Okay, paint day today. Get this all nailed so tomorrow I can start assembly. Now, I'll show you a couple of the products that I've got. So that's what I'm putting on the underbody, and it works really well. They did tell me that if you go to spray something like the Dominator over the top of it, or it'll orange peel, but it hasn't. I'd done that on the HJ, it came up beautiful. Now I'm using this, just this plastic wrap from Bunnings. It's already pre-taped to go around the car. And I don't know where my wax and grease remover's gone, and my cloths. So let's get the old girl masked up and masked, cleaned and painted. So I kept the video running, guys, but I pushed the wrong button and lost all the video of masking and painting underneath. Well, managed to get the whole of the car painted underneath and engine bay. So now I just use some of this rust guard to get the places that my spray gun couldn't get to, because there's a lot of niggly bits everywhere, you know. But let's turn it around and have a look. All in all, it's come up quite well. There's a few little spots like up in here on the top of that rail. There is no way knowing I could get a spray gun up there. But come back here, a bit dull, the light. But that's her, guys. That is her. A couple of bits up in here. Paint's cheap. Rust is expensive. Firewall is done. I'm happy with it. I mean, it's nothing like the HJ. The HJ was pretty spot on, but the HZ wagon, this wagon is ready to start assembling tomorrow. So keep watching. Is going to be reassembled, and let's get her sitting on her own wheels. Righto, well, I thought I was just about ready to start assembling things, but I forgot one major thing that I had not done. This is what happens when you get so excited. I forgot to do the body deadener, and I used Dominator. It's a 2-part. Man, this stuff goes off hard as nails. So I've had to remask the car, which doesn't matter because that roll came in 30 metres. I think it was only 20 bucks. 20 bucks from Bunnings. So let's get some Dominator on this car. I'm only going to use one can because I want to mainly concentrate in the 2 front wheel arches, and probably just down the back in the back wheel arches. And if there's anything left over, I'll just put some on somewhere. Okay. I used a litre of Dominator. That's going to dry off. It'll still be a little bit glossy, but it's good. And I've put it on all the parts of the chassis and down along the rails. Both sides, obviously, guys. I have to film from this way, guys, because the sun's too bad. And then I've done all the floors. Didn't bother doing up inside the arch because nothing ever gets worn up in there, and that was pretty well perfect. So anyway, that is the Dominator. Okay, time to get this tank sorted out. Now, I've tipped it out. Look at the colour of that fuel, mate. It's like blood, and it stinks. Okay, I just Scotch brighted it, the same as what I'd done underneath the car, but it came up really nice. Okay, that tank cleaned up bloody beautiful. Now I am going to paint it. Well, that turned out quite nice, that top section. Okay, tank is finished. I reckon that is close to the original colour as you'll possibly get. And look at that, bloody bug blow it landed in it. Guaranteed. Labour of love, because not many people are going to even look at it or even notice it. Okay guys, the tank is pretty much in. All I've got to do is button it up. But I'm glad I went that colour and didn't just paint it black, because that, my friends, looks magnificent. Okay, so passenger side upper control arm is on, buttoned up. Now, I haven't done these up yet. I'll probably sit them in a nice position and then do them up. And it's neither here nor there, because they do actually spin on the bushes anyway. So the driver's side, it's a pain in the ass because you've got the proportioning valve in the way. So I start getting excited and whacking the diff in, which was a little bit of a task on my own, but managed to get it in no worries. And start from the back of the car and work my way to the front to complete everything. And once I'd buttoned the diff up totally, I'd brought new neoprene pads to whack in there on top of the springs. The ones that I'd got were the wrong size anyway, so I then realised that I had to pull the original one out and put it back up the other way. But you get that when you're in a hurry and you're in a rush. Okay, the diff is all but in except for this one trailing arm bolt. So I've just got to lever that one around and get that in. But I did make a mistake. If you noticed, I got the body rubber up there. And I thought I had 4 brand new body rubbers, but it turned out that 2 of them were too big. So I've replaced this one down here, and I was going to put the new one up there. But all 6 of them were wrong. So now I've got to take that spring there out, put the rubber up the top. Never mind, we're allowed to make mistakes every now and then. So now it's time just to finish the bushes on the lower control arms. I've done the upper control arms. I'm just pressing these ones in now, which is a pretty simple job if you've done them a few times. They come up pretty well. They go in pretty easy. Well, I put these ones in the freezer so they shrunk a little bit and they just slip straight in. So putting the lower control arms in, it's all pretty basic, exactly the same. It's the opposite to taking everything out. It's just a little bit easier and cleaner once you've been working on everything. So putting the spring in, you just got to make sure that the spring's around the right way and it's sitting correctly, because there's no way you're going to be able to get it to twist once you've got that in. And then just button the rest of it up and continue around to the other side of the car. Okay, so the lower control arm is on, spindle's on, and the spring's in. So I reckon we are definitely heading for on its feet today. So start doing all the tie rod ends, control arms and all that sort of business. But I had to kind of slow myself down a bit because I was getting excited. I just wanted to get everything finished and done. And I was starting to get frustrated getting things in, trying to hold things up and do it all on my own. So I sat back, had a beer, and then got back into it again. Okay guys, that's pretty much the front end. Now we have the fun part, greasing these bearings and putting the rotors on. That's just about the last thing to do. So what I'm going to do now is, you can see how that is pointing south. Try and get these as straight as I possibly can for now, and then grease up these bearings. I love greasing bearings. So I use the palm method, guys, just the tap and palm method. It forces the grease all around the bearings. You know, you just have peace of mind, you know that that bearing is 100% packed and it's not going to wear out. So you'll notice when I show you the bearing that the grease has actually forced its way up through and between the rollers. Messy job, but it's the best way I know of doing it. So talking about me father and showing me how to do those, I'm a Holden fan. I love Holdens because he was a Holden man. But when he passed away a few years ago now. But before he passed away, he actually told me he's a Ford man. So I was pretty devastated about that. But I still love the Holdens anyway, and still love me old man. So I just take my time and make sure I get the right amount of tension on those bearings. But once I do a little bit of a test drive, the first thing I'll do is I'll take the wheels back off and I'll make sure the bearings are actually set correctly. So I just basically grease everything up, and at this stage, front end to me is completely done. So it's no show car, but all that time and effort getting in there and cleaning everything really paid off, and it really looks good and nice and clean. Well, it's inevitable that you are going to forget about buying parts and stuff like that. So Friday afternoon I was hoping to get this on the ground, so I'm going to shoot into town and I've got to buy some wheel cylinders. They are seized. But having said that, I'm going to have some fun and I'm going to take this into town. Time to take the Camaro for a spin. So, no use it sitting there in the carport. Let's cruise. Well, you got to love the cold start in this car. Who needs a radio when you can listen to that? So time to attack the rear brake shoes and get these cylinders in. Cylinders were quite easy, and this is a special tool. You can buy them online. Recommend it for every time you're doing a brake line, guys. Now the wheel cylinders, no drama, went in, not a problem. Well, that wasn't too painful getting that in there. So I'll just give this a clean up and then continue assembling it. I struggled doing these brake shoes. You really need 3 hands, 15 fingers to get everything in. And those springs are so over-engineered. But anyway, got it in the end. Well, I really don't like doing brake shoes. You almost need 3 arms or somebody to give you a hand. Well, finally got those brakes done, both sides, the brake shoes. But I tell you, I struggled a lot to do them. I'm going to admit, I am not a brake shoe guy, especially on these Holdens. There is just so many springs. My God. But it's done. So we're just going to button up the back of this car now and lift the hoist up, do the sway bar on the rear and a couple of the brake lines, and then I'm on the front. So assembling the rest of this car together, the back of it especially, I just made sure that everything was nice and clean. All the threads were re-tapped out. Everything's nicely painted up, because a lot of parts that you get on these Holdens from new were just raw steel. So I just wanted to make sure everything was nice and clean. Okay, sway bar is on. Looks good too. Now, I didn't do the upper bushes because they're still in pretty good condition. I've done the lower ones. Probably should have done the upper ones. They're there anyway. I don't reckon I need to do them. Both sides are pretty bloody good. So that looks good. Nicely painted up. And now, come up here. I'll get this handbrake cable and everything all set up. And then replace all these fuel lines, all the joins. And I'll blow everything out while I'm going. I think there's only 2 sets of joins. So the handbrake cable was simple. I used the original cable, which there was nothing wrong with it, and it all went in nice and easily. Okay, handbrake cable is done. We are getting through this quite fast today, and I'm glad because it's going to be a hot one. Right, let's get these fuel lines done. Get up the front here and try and do something with these brake calipers. I'm not sure if I can fix them, but I'll stick them in the press, see if I can get them to move. If I can't get them to move, I'm just going to have to get another set. Last thing to do under the car before I can put it on its feet are these brake calipers. They are horrible. So I'm going to give it one more crack at rebuilding them. If I can't get those pistons out, well then I'm just going to have to source some other ones. Used to get these pistons out, but by this stage I reckon I'd spent 4 hours on these brakes before I even started cleaning them up. And now it's time to put the seals in and put them back together, which was to me near impossible. I broke my seals trying to get them in, and I just couldn't do it. Down on here. So this was the last thing I needed to do to put this car back on the wheels and get it to the stage that it rolled in the shed. So I just tried and ended up having to give up anyway. Well, I've tried for about 4 hours to do these calipers, and I'm giving up. It has defeated me. I've tried everything. So time for them to go to the professional, I think. Let the professionals deal with it. Righto, Sunday today. I think it's the 29th, so that gives me 22 days left to get this car done. I'm going to have a rest day today, just clean up the shed because there is a mess everywhere, and I'm having a bit of a barbecue today for a few blokes. So what I am up to. So this HZ is totally finished underneath. There is only one thing I've got left to do. So the brakes are done, tank's done, shock springs done, sway bar done. So we keep continuing on, handbrake cable is in and done. So it is ready to be adjusted once she's sitting down on the road. The front end, completely done, except for those dastard bloody brake calipers. Anyway, haven't done these up yet because I'm going to wait until I put the motor on, put some weight on it, and then I'll torque them up. Don't want to torque them up like they are now because they'll wear out extremely quick. So that front end is totally done. It's come up really well, looks really nice. Look at this, you turn your back for a minute and the scrutineers are onto it.
Just writing the list.
You're going to need more paper than that then. Well, you've made it to the end of the video, so here comes the price and here comes the hours. So I've actually spent 53 hours to get this car back down on the ground, the way it actually rolled in, except for everything's new. And the price has been $1,870 so far, not including the tyres down there. Now I do have a bit of a whinge because Resto Spares and Resto Country, or you know, their prices have doubled, tripled, plus the delivery time's taking a lot longer since was doing the HJ 2-3 years ago, and the postage is outrageous. Nearly everything is around the $10 to be posted, even if it's something that goes in an envelope. But it's something we're going to have to put up with. So in the next video, we start on the interior. I had a professional come out and clean it as best he could. Came up pretty sweet. I'm going to start putting the interior back in, and then all the fun part starts, where all these parts are actually missing. All the little screws, all the little bolts, few other little bits and pieces, and they are hard to find, hard to source, take a long time to get here. Next video, going to be grouse. Only 2 more videos to go, guys, and she'll be on the road. So like and subscribe, thumbs up, all that sort of stuff, and thanks for watching. You guys are champions.